The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Great Falls, Montana, on your new fire apparatus, job number 29787. Please utilize this job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Let's start down at the very front bumper, forward facing. You'll find two attachment points at the very bottom of your bumper. Located inside the bumper, you'll find dual air horns on the right and left side. On the driver's side, you'll find your electronic siren. Moving up onto the top, you'll find a discharge. Moving just down into the very face of the bumper, you'll find a hose storage location. Moving up onto the body, you'll find the headlight cluster and turn cluster. On the actual grill of the apparatus, you'll find two warning lights. Located on the side of the apparatus, you'll find your mirrors, which consist of a convex mirror on the lower portion, flat on the top. Moving up from that location, you'll find a forward-facing floodlight. Up onto the top of the brow of the apparatus, you'll find your running lights. Just up from that, you'll find a full-width light bar. Located in the center of the light bar, you'll find an opticom. Up onto the top, you'll find a right and left go light, electronically controlled from within inside the cab. On the side of the bumper, you'll find on both sides emergency warning lights. On both sides, you'll find air intakes. This is also the location for the latch to tilt the hood. You'll also find a turn indicator on the right and left side fender. There are also 4 lights across the area for steps and work lights. Located in the center of the silver fuel cell, you'll find your access for fuel location. On the smaller blue cap, you'll find your DEF fill location. And just above that, you'll find an air inlet chuck. On the bottom of the apparatus for points of entry, you'll find perimeter lighting. Let's talk a little bit about or look at some of the close-ups here of those images. At the bottom, the tow hooks, also the dual air horns, your code 3 siren PA system. Located in the center, a tubbed area with belts for hose securing. Located on the passenger side, you'll find a 2.5-inch discharge. Located in the side, you'll find tubbed storage location for components or hose. This is the headlight cluster, including the turn. Located in the center of the grille, your Pierce logo. To the right of left of that, emergency warning lights. Another close-up of the headlight structure. Let's move up to the top of the apparatus. On the side of the apparatus in the fender, you'll find a latch on each side. To release that latch, lift the black lever, allowing the latch to remove itself from the mechanism, allowing you to tilt the hood forward. Once the hood is tilted forward, you'll find components of your engine. Let's cover some of those components here within this discussion. First, you'll find the fill for your Dextron. This is your power steering fluid. You'll also find windshield wiper fluid, fill location. There is also your oil and also transmission
checkpoints. In the yellow is the oil. In the silver is the transmission. Moving up onto the top, you'll find two push-on, push-off lights. Down in the lower section, red, this is the positive connection for your battery system. This is the fill location and also sight gauge for your antifreeze. Located on the top, just as a reminder, this is your access point to make that tilt once the latch has been removed. On the sides, you have a lower section convex and an upper section flat. Moving down to the latch mechanism, you can see this is a keyed entry point. Moving down, you'll find in the silver location the fill location for your ultra low sulfur diesel. Underneath that tank, you'll find access for perimeter lighting. Moving back up to the next tank over, this is going to be your DEF. This is a blue cap. Moving down to the first set of steps, this is going to be the location behind this access door for your batteries. Both those latches will be turned and gained access inside to the battery location, which you'll find behind this access point. On the opposite side or passenger side, you'll find steps with perimeter lighting in addition with your booster line, real rewind for that booster line, and also your shore inlet. This is a 15 amp shore inlet auto eject plug. Generalized view of the side of the apparatus from the passenger's perspective. Just over the door of the passenger side, you'll find an additional downward pointing mirror. Generalized view, we'll start looking into some of the compartments here. First, let's look at this compartment with the roll-up door. This is the location of your crosslays and also your pump. Let's start in the upper left-hand corner. This is going to be your 2.5-inch speed lay. It has access for water and foam. Just beneath that, you'll find in yellow the number 1 speed lay, access is for foam and water. And on the very bottom section, you'll find the number 2 speed lay, also has capability of water and foam. These are all removable. Just at the base, you'll find additional work lights. Let's go ahead and cover some of the components within the pump panel, and we'll talk about those in detail. Let's start in the upper left-hand corner. First, underneath, you'll find a light that is currently not on, indicating that the pump is not engaged. If the light is illuminated, your pump is properly engaged. You have your master intake and master discharge. There is also location for your test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure. Moving to the left in the red section, this is going to be your Husky foam system. This is the location for turning it on and off, increasing and decreasing the percentages, and also priming. There is also the foam level indicator. This is going to be your foam system specifications, the various types of solution capabilities. In the center between the two functions, you'll find your foam system instructions on how to operate this system and work through the steps on utilizing your foam system. Moving to the right of that location, you'll find your TFT monitor operation station. This will allow you to turn on and off, up and down, in direction of flow. To the right of that, you'll find your driver's main inlet. This is going to be your L-card brass valve for electronics, open, closed, or a preset position. Located in the center, you'll find your Pierce throttle control. This also has your water tank level. This is going to be for pressure mode and also RPM mode. As you can see, there is a RPM digital readout, a check engine light if needed, a stop engine light. The check engine is amber and the stop engine would be in red, and then the subsequent fluid locations underneath that. There is also a digital readout at the very bottom, the menu selector switch, and a silence switch. Moving down from this location, you'll find once again the pressure control or throttle control. You'll also find a push in for idle and also the twist right to increase throttle or twist left to decrease throttle. Let's move just up to the very top. This is going to be your panel gauge heater. It is automatic. It turns on with the red indicator on here, and it also has a cold sensor down in the lower section. Also on the right is your generator start and generator stop switches. The generator start is an indicator light also, illuminating in green, and the lower section here in red is the generator stop. Let's move further to the right with a set of switch panels. This first is your panel light to engage the light in your panel. The next one down is the pump engaged, which is a indication, not a switch. You also have driver's side, passenger side compartment floods, or compartments, and also your pump compartment lights. Let's move over here to the individual gauges. As you can see here, this is the number 1 Speedlay. It is currently a yellow labeled, and it also has the capacity for foam. You can see that it has a yellow indicator behind it in the placard that matches also the location where the hose deploys from. Moving to the right of that, you'll find the number 2 Speedlay. You can see it also has water and foam capabilities. It is currently labeled and white in color. Moving to the right of that, you'll find in gray the 2.5-inch Speedlay. It is also capable of water and foam. To the right of that, you'll find the reel blowdown and also your reel discharge. This is a twist, not a pull, for the reel blowdown. Moving to the right of that, you'll find this wheel. It is the deluge discharge. On the right, it has an indicator for the level of the indication for the valve. It is currently in the closed position and it is labeled in pink. To the right of that, you're also going to find your driver's rear discharge in the brownish color, your front discharge, which has foam and water capabilities, and also the passenger side discharge. Just beneath that, you'll find the number 1, number 2, and number 3 driver side discharges and passenger side discharges. These are 2.5-inch discharge ports. Also located in this area is going to be your green large diameter passenger side discharge. This is a wheel with an indicator on it also. I have a close-up of the indicator. As you can see, it's a 12-to-1 ratio with inside the gauge. Because the driver's side main inlet is electronic, you're required to have an auxiliary way of overriding that. This is the tool method of overriding that driver's main inlet override, located behind the silver panel. To the right of that, you'll find the engine cooler, Once again, this is a twist, not a pull. To the right of that, you'll find your electric primer. Let's go ahead and talk about the electric prime. There is a caution label regarding the use of this primer motor for more than 1 minute continuous may cause damage to that motor. Be cautious of that, and that is your caution label in yellow. Just beneath that, you'll also find the tank to pump and also the tank refill and recirculating line. Let's move further to the left of that, the Pierce logo here with the Eagle American flag. This is going to be your large diameter intake. Above that large diameter intake, there is also information here regarding the use of the owner's manual and safety features associated with that. To the left, you'll find an additional warning label here regarding to consider all caps under pressure and be cautious when opening them, that there could be damage associated or injury. Down in the lower left-hand corner, you'll find the driver's main inlet bleeder and also the manifold drain. Down at the very base, you'll find the number 1 speed lay, number 3 driver's side, and also the auxiliary side inlet drain. Let's move to the right of this location and talk about your auxiliary side inlet. That's a 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet. There's also a lever for opening and closing. To the right of that, you'll find your 3-position foam information regarding draft, foam, and tank, and also the tank fill just underneath that. We'll talk a little bit about that access door here in the next set of images, but at the very top, there is also a warning label here regarding the mixing of or batches of foam and not to mix those. You'll also find your pump drain. To open this, simply pull to drain. Let's now go ahead and move down to the access door on your left, but to the right, you're going to find your manual pump shift. To access this, place the cab shift in neutral, push for road, and pull for pump on this lever here. Behind the access door, you'll find foam information here on the left-hand door. It's currently in the operation mode. If you move it to the vertical position, that will be for the fill mode. Underneath, you'll find additional lighting. This is at ground level. Your vehicle is also equipped with a fully enclosed pump area. You can see that down at the very bottom and the latches associated with closing that pump in. To open the section to allow access under the pump, simply pull the right and left levers here, release, allowing that bottom section to pull outward. Generalized side view here of the body. We'll talk about some of the compartments within this area. As you can see, all of your compartments here have roll-up doors. There's also illumination or lighting with inside each of those compartments. Let's start in the upper left-hand corner. As we move to the very top, you'll find your Shore Power auto charger. You can see that it is currently plugged in, and when you plug into Shore Power, this will activate your charging system. To the left, you'll find your main breaker panel. This is the circuit directory located 1 through 6, or 1 through 7, I'm sorry. You can see that each one of these breakers is individually labeled, and there is also a warning sticker down at the very bottom. Looking in the lower section of the compartment, you'll find a pull-out drawer. To access that pull-out drawer, simply depress the black handle on the lower right-hand side, allowing the latch to release itself and allowing the door to move or the drawer to move outward. Repeat this step to replace it back to storage position. Let's move to the center compartment. As you can see, this compartment, when the door is exposed, has a shelf which is fully adjustable. It also has access to black latches. Once those latches are depressed on the right and left side, this will allow the mechanism to allow the shelf to pull outward. This is a tipping or down styled shelf, so it will tilt downward for easy access of your equipment. Located beneath this shelf, you'll find 2 access doors. First, this access door that we're looking at now houses SCBA storage, bottles, in addition with bottle straps for security. Underneath that, you'll find an additional warning label here regarding the hazards associated with exhaust and temperatures. Let's now move to the next position, which is going to be that additional bottle storage location. Once this compartment's open, you can see that there are also straps located in here. Moving to the very rear of your apparatus, when this access door, you can see the very top. This is going to house your electrical cord. This is a 20 amp, 150 foot long cord. There is a reel rewind on the left hand side. It is a push style. The shelf just beneath that reel you'll find is also the type that when opened it will tilt downward for easy access of equipment. Generalized view here of the next shelf down. It is adjustable, currently in a fixed position. And then as we move all the way to the very bottom, you'll find an additional pull-out style shelf with the latch mechanism on the right. There are also 2 outlets here, one generator outlet 15 amp and shore line outlet 15 amp. Let's look underneath this compartment at ground level. You'll find your wheel chocks. These are a folding wheel chock. Now moving to the rear of the apparatus, we'll talk about some of the components here. Generalized view just to get your sense of where things are located. Let's first start down in the lower section. As we look underneath the apparatus, you'll find in the very center an attachment point or tow hook. To the right and left of that attachment point, you'll find perimeter lighting. Moving up, you'll find your right and left cluster for emergency warning, brake and turn and reverse. And in this location, you'll also find steps to gain access to the top of your apparatus. On the left, you'll also find a telescoping floodlight. Located in the center, an additional roll-up door here. Let's access this door. Underneath at the very bottom, you'll find a pull-out style shelf. In addition, within the next section up, a fixed shelf currently adjustable. Let's now move upward from this location here above the roll-up door. You'll find you have 2 discharges on the right and left. Also mounted in the center, a backup or reverse camera. These are both 2.5-inch discharges, clearly identified and marked and color-coded. As you can see, this is the driver rear discharge. Just above that, you'll find your traffic advisor. Let's move to the right of this location. Behind this access door is where your ladders are stored. When we access this door, you'll find your 14-foot roof, 24-foot extension. Also at the very top, you'll find long pole storage for equipment and also a 10-foot folding ladder. In the center, you'll find hose bed storage locations with dividers. Just above that, on the very far right-hand side, you'll find long board storage. As we move up to the very top of your covered hose bed, there are 2 latches associated with opening your hose bed. Once it's open, you'll see the access point for adjustable splines here for your hose bed cover. On the side of the apparatus, you'll find an access door First, on this side, you'll find the location where the reel is located for the side of the compartment. This compartment also has lighting inside. The opposite side here, as you can see, does not have the electrical reel located in it. It is complete top storage. Just forward of that location, you'll find your water fill location and your foam fill for tank A. Looking inside, this is your water storage for top fill. Also located in the center, you'll find your large diameter master stream and also a portable generator. This is the location of your hydraulic oil. This is going to be a gasoline-fired generator. Generalized view here of the passenger side of the vehicle. We'll talk about the components on this side. Let's first start in the left-hand corner or rear of the apparatus. You can see there are two fixed shelves located here, which are adjustable. In the center, you'll find a swing-out toolbar, which houses tools on either the outside or the inside. It is also adjustable. To release this mechanism, there is a lift of this lever. Once the lever has been lifted, this will allow the tool board to be restored back to its original position. Just between that section, you'll find two locations for bottle storage, a total of 6 bottles, in addition with straps for your bottle safety. Moving forward of that compartment, you'll find an adjustable shelf compartment here. With inside that, you'll find your Shoreline outlet. This is a 15 amp shore outlet. Generalized view here of the midsection of your pumper. Same configuration as your cross loads. Let's talk about the lower section down here. First, let's start with the access door on the left. This is the access door for your large diameter intake and the relief valve associated with that. This is the large diameter discharge. Down at the very bottom, these are your discharge drains. This is also the location at the very bottom of your auxiliary inlet. You'll also find a drain for your front discharge at ground level. Let's go ahead and move into the cab of the vehicle. We'll talk about some of the components within the cab. First, let's start at the driver's door. As you gain access into the driver's door, you'll find warning and caution labels here. The vehicle capacity is for 4 personnel. On the door itself, you'll find window control and mirror control and door locks. Looking just inside of the cab, let's look down at the base area. First, you'll find at the very base your red battery switch. This is a quarter turn on-off. Just above that, you'll find your auto charging system here when plugged into shore power. This will indicate your battery. To the left of that, you'll find your Pierce label, date of manufacture, job number, VIN number, and fluid capacities. Down at the floor, you'll find your air horn for your foot pedal. As we move up on to the seat itself, you'll find the controls for comfort of your seat. Looking as a general view into the center of the cab from the driver's perspective, let's start on the very far left-hand side. You'll find your height, length, and gross vehicle weight rating on the placard on the left just above the vents. It also offers information on the job number. As we move to the right of that, you'll find additional set of switches for your headlights, rocker panel switches, and also door locks. Generalized view here of the cab, you'll find your DEF level, oil pressure, fuel, tachometer. Moving to the right of that, located in the center, you'll find your tachometer and speedometer. To the right-hand side of your dash cluster, you'll find your primary air brakes, coolant, and your secondary air brakes. Down the lower section, you'll find your ignition, and also you'll find your scroll-through apparatus menu. Moving to the right, generalized view here of the cab of your apparatus. You can see in the upper portion, this is going to be your backup camera. Also, you have 12-volt barrel style access points. Beneath that, you'll find your in-cab stereo system. Just to the right of that, you'll find your climate control for heating and cooling. To the right, you'll find your parking brake, pull to apply, push to release. Also your transmission pad. To the right of that, you'll find your air cleaner pressure vacuum indicator. You'll also find your differential locks. And just beneath that, you'll find your engine regen. You'll also find in the center console all of your information regarding switches and controls. Let's start at the very top with your indicator regarding not to move the apparatus if lit. That is a compartment door. Also, you'll find your Pierce seatbelt information. To the right, you'll find 12-volt options here for power, in addition with your pump engaged. Beneath that, you'll find all of your rocker switches for your emergency warning lights. You'll find your radio system and public announcement system, go light controls, and traffic advisor and air horn. To the rear of that, you'll find storage locations for map books or manuals. Overhead, located in the center, you'll find your FireCom system. Directly on the passenger side and driver side, you'll find work lights and stereo. On the driver's side, you'll find your FireCom headset system. To the rear, this is a forward-facing SCBA bottled seat. In between, there is a center console for storage location. On the passenger side, there is an additional SCBA forward-facing seat. You'll also find your Shoreline outlet, 15 amp, generator outlet, and Shoreline outlet located in the rear here. Also in the passenger seat front, you'll find an SCBA mounted bottle seat. Generalized view here of the dash with the compartment open. Also, you'll find your warning and vehicle data recorder ports. Congratulations, Great Falls, Montana, on your new apparatus, job number 29787. If you have any questions as to content or any information within this video, please contact your Hughes Fire sales associate. Thank you and congratulations.